We welcome you live inside of the Rivets Rundown here. I'm Craig Combs. He's Parker Porrill. And Parker, here we are, week 3 of the new podcast for the Rockford Rivets, the Rivets Rundown, your source, our source, their source, everyone's source for everything that is Rockford Rivets baseball.
Yeah, it's excited to be here. We have a little blurred Parker today to spare me and I guess my mom the embarrassment. I wouldn't care, but my mom would get on to me. My room's a mess, so it's all blurred out.
X-rated Parker Porrill today.
We're getting a little blurred action going on. But yeah, I'm happy to be here week 3. We made it. A little we'll edit in a couple of balloons falling down in post. A little celebration, episode 3 special, And we have quite a stacked episode, don't we, Craig?
Yeah, we're going to be bringing on the new hitting coach for the Rockford Rivets, Cam McDonald. Cam McDonald is a current assistant coach at the University of Illinois in Champaign for the Fighting Illini in the Big Ten. And he spent a few years playing in Rockford for the Rivets and now is going to be coming back this time in a more administrative role, if you will. And he's going to be joining the team as the hitting coach. And again, if you look up and down Mr. McDonald's stat lines, go to Fighting Illini's website and you can look at his stats from a couple years ago. I mean, guy was hitting the cover off the ball, and he all Big Ten player. He was able to he holds the record. I believe it was for most. Let me see this real quick. I want to make sure that I'm right. I want to make sure I take care of Cam right. He holds the Illinois record for 63 game on base streak. Guy got on base safely 63 games in a row. I mean, that's silly. And that's the guy that's going to be taking care of the hitters of the Rockford Rivets here this summer.
And great to know that you have an accomplished guy with a lot of accolades, but getting to, we're about to pick this guy's brain, Craig. What are you hoping to ask this guy? What are you hoping to find out about such a decorated guy?
We've talked about this, the last 2 weeks, and we interviewed Coach OB last week, and it's putting the pieces in place. I just want to see the man. I want to hear what his plan is. I want to hear, who he is, where he comes from, kind of a thing. But I mean, most importantly, just to see how he fits with what we've already seen with this Rockford Rivets organization, and see how he fits into this puzzle. Because I mean, the more information that comes out, the more you see the players, the coaching staff, what the front office is doing. I mean, this is shaping up to be a massive season for the Rockford Rivets, especially after setting the team record in wins last season to try to top 45 wins. I mean, that's a big deal, and I feel like we're on a path to do that right now.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, especially after talking to OB, not only do we know, but now the fans know the direction. We know what's going on, and excited to pick the brain of the new hitting coach. And as you just said, that stat line is no stranger to making hit, no stranger to making contact with the ball.
No, none at all. And honestly, like, the thing that I like most about him is that he is a little bit younger, and that we do have a little bit of a younger staff being assembled here in Rockford, because I think it's most important, especially with, the majority of the team being college-age kids and in college playing baseball right now. I feel that it's most important to be able to have somebody that can, draw from their own experience previously to be able to relate to the kids that are going to be on the team and also help them develop. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, winning games is the most important thing for the front office, but developing these athletes and developing these players and being better baseball players is the most important, and I would assume is most important to Cam.
It obviously, when you're at this level, that has to be, if not the most important, up there. It's all about growing as a person, as a coach, as a player, as an organization as well. And I'm excited to find this out. We've found a lot out from Coach OB. Excited to find out a little more from the rest of the coaching staff, starting with Coach Cam, Coach McDonald.
Absolutely. Is that bring? Is that the bat phone ringing again?
Exactly.
I think it is. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and bring on the new hitting coach of the Rockford Rivets, a former infielder, a former all Big Ten player from the University of Illinois, and now from the Rockford Rivets, we're going to bring in Cam McDonald.
I mean, that's just about great as introduction as you can have. And I just feel like with a guy who's as decorated as you when it comes to hitting, and especially at University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, lovely place, by the way. Went there 2 years ago. Great place to be, in my opinion. I don't know your inside scoop. I thought it was great.
Nothing like Champaign, baby. It's been 6 years, so I must like it.
Yeah. Don't mean to offend you too hard, Mr. West Lafayette, Craig.
Hey, no offense taken. We beat them in football. We beat them when it mattered in basketball. I mean, there's no offense taken. So, I mean, I have no issues.
Hey, I tell you what, there's only one that I care about. So,
hey, hopefully, hey, I'm just hoping. I know you and I talked about this a little bit off of air, but like, and we don't want to throw any jinxes out there, but there's a potential that the Purdue Boilermakers in the Illinois Fighting Illini are playing for the Big Ten regular season championship at the end of the season. And again, we're going to have to be foes for those 3 days because I'm going to be calling on Big Ten Plus, and I'm a little bit of a Purdue fan, and you know, coaching, at the University of Illinois. It's going to be an exciting weekend, though, and I'm excited regardless of what we're playing for. So,
yeah, you better not be making fun of me on air.
Oh.
Hey, listen, man.
I'm gonna be listening after.
Listen, he who has the pen, right? He who has the pen. So
I got no say on that.
No, that's gonna be the hard part. Is I'm gonna want to put you over, and my Purdue people are gonna be looking at me and being like, man, this guy plays for the other team. Like, I know, but this dude, have you talked to this guy before? Like, come on now.
Well, I'll have to tune in for that, but getting back to like this year, and I know you haven't gotten in Rockford yet. We haven't even gotten to Rockford yet. Season 40 days away, as Craig alluded to. Well, just what kind of philosophy are you hoping to instill when it comes to swinging the bats out there? Is it all bats flying, contact, slugging? What's the hope? What's the hope when it comes to that philosophy?
My philosophy is a little bit different than I feel like a lot of people's, because I'm not going to teach a power hitter to be a contact guy in the summer. Like, the way that they are, like, I just want to continue to build on like who they are as a player. Like, I'm not trying to make everybody swing the same way, make everybody do things the same way. Like, at the end of the day, like, my goal, like, as I've gotten to coaching and I realize like what I want to do is like help these guys reach their full potential, and hopefully reaching their full potential will help Rockford as a unit and help them as a team become better. But that's honestly my biggest goal. And like, I'd say like the one thing that I want to instill in these guys is like nothing to do with what happens on the field, but it would be just not be result oriented and be more focused on the process. I feel like that's the biggest thing that I want to help these guys with, is becoming focused on the process and having a routine every day and doing the same things, because what is it, 72 games?
Yeah.
72 games, man, 72 games can get tough if you get in your own way. So my biggest goal is just to keep them on the right track and work hard every day, and realize like that'll go a long way.
Yeah. And you mentioned the process, and also 72 games. I believe it's 72 games, 76 days. How do you build with that process and with playing those back-to-back games? Is it just focus on the next day, or is it just you got to ride in that streak and kind of like turn into the Ironman, you know?
Yeah, I just think just being in the moment. I think from my side, the only thing that I can do is just bring energy every day and like get to the field early. Any guy needs something, like after a game, if somebody wants to talk about their swing, wants to watch video, just like always being available to the guys, I think will be big for that. Just knowing that I have their back, like no matter what. And like, I feel like in turn of knowing that I have their back, that I can have tougher conversations with them. Like if they know I have their best interest and I'm not in it for myself, I'm in it for them. So I think that be very helpful in those aspects, just getting them to believe in the process.
And do you think that it's a benefit? I mean, obviously, like if you're a coach and you're coaching a specific sport, like you're coaching baseball right now, but you know a little bit about baseball. But do you think it also helps when you're having those tough conversations with the player who may be struggling or slumping or trying to work on something, because you've been there? Like you've played baseball at the highest level in Division I baseball. That most of these kids are either currently playing or in the midst of playing. So do you think that you can draw from that, experience to say, hey, listen, I've been there before. This is what I did, or these are some things that I can, do to help me at the plate or in the field. Do you think that helps you with being able to have those conversations with the players?
Absolutely. And it's like really part of the reason I got into coaching, because that's a really good freshman season. And then my sophomore year, I really struggled and started thinking about the draft and got in my own way. And then I was hitting like 149 when COVID happened. So like 12 games into the season, I think I might have been the worst hitter in the country that year. So, and then like I've struggled my junior year. Like I struggled for 2 years straight and just couldn't get out of my own way. So, and like to come out of that and like change my perspective on things, change the way I look at the game and what I viewed success as, I think that these guys can appreciate that and look at that and be like that I'm passionate about it, and that it definitely will help being able to get through to them, as opposed to me maybe never really playing or never really having an impact from the playing side.
Sure.
Yeah. And getting to this year, and obviously Illinois guy, you're at Urbana-Champaign, and now you're going to be spending this summer in Rockford. So how does it feel to like not only stay in the state of Illinois, but how does it feel to head over to Rockford?
It's awesome. I had a lot of good times in Rockford my 4 years playing summer ball there, so I'm definitely pumped up to go back, and just the memories of that's going to be cool. Like there's plenty of games that like things happen in the Northwoods that just don't happen anywhere else. So it's gonna be really cool to go back and just like something to happen and be like, oh, like I've seen that before. But then you know how baseball is, and there's always new things. Like that's why I probably love the game. Like one of the reasons why I love it so much is there's something new every day that happens, especially in a league like the Northwoods, because you're playing every day. You get to go to a bunch of different towns and like see new places. So I think it's going to be awesome, and I'm really pumped up to be back in Rockford.
No one day ends the same, right?
Oh, that's the beauty of it, right?
Obviously, former Northwoods League guy, familiar with the league. Do you have any special memories, any special like moments that you always think back of? Like when you think of the Northwoods League, you're just like, that's Northwoods League baseball.
Oh man, there's so many good stories. I actually, my freshman year, I had actually I'll give a shout out to one of my there's this I think the coolest thing is like, I'm not even gonna say a memory, just like the teammates. Jake Vanderwald, I felt like was just such a great teammate, and like just getting to be around him for all summer. He was an older guy at the time. I think he was a junior or senior. He kind of was all over the place, but he was at Long Beach State for a couple of years and then kind of bounced around. But it was really nice to get to work with him. I feel like he like I always have good memories about the conversations I had with him. I feel like he really helped me like understand what it is to play every day, and that like I can't, like after one bad game, I just can't be so down on myself. So like just guys like that. Dom Hughes, his dad's a coach at Kansas State. He played under his dad at Kansas State. He was an awesome teammate. Just being around like guys that like cared about other people a lot, I thought was like the best thing from summer ball for me.
What's his name?
Who?
The dog.
Oh, Capo and Stevie. I have two.
Shout out Capo and Stevie.
Yeah, give them a shout.
Coming to Rockford?
No, they're not. They're going with my girlfriend. She's got a internship in Colorado this summer, so they'll be in Colorado.
Hey, they're missing out.
Yeah, Colorado will be pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Whenever she gets you to move there, just let me know. We'll come spend the weekend with you guys.
Yeah, that'd be a great time. I'm in. I'm all in for it.
So I don't want to keep you too long. We just want to, ask a couple questions, get an overview. We just want to introduce you, reintroduce you, if you will, to the city of Rockford. Obviously, Rockford was able to see you play for a few years, and now you're going to get to come back with a little bit of administrative power, which we'll see. We'll see how you like that, having the administrative power in Rockford. But what's the one thing that you're looking forward to more than anything, getting back to Rockford this season, whether that be restaurant, of food? I know you and I talked about spending some time up in Roscoe before we got on the air. But what's the one thing away from the baseball field that you're looking forward to being back in Rockford this year?
Honestly, I'm gonna give another shout out to my host family, Barb and Al. Barb is one of the best cooks I've ever been around, and she always makes everything fresh and stuff. And I'm excited to go over there and see them and get a nice home cooked meal.
Shout out host families for sure. Anybody who's done anything in the Northwoods League or in any summer baseball league, that the lifeline of the summer baseball leagues are the host families. So without the host families, so shout out Al and Barb. I'm sure they're listening. Hope they're listening. Hopefully that they have another teammate with them this summer.
Would not happen without them.
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And getting back to this year, we talked about earlier, Coach OB, Manager Oberg, whatever you want to call him. How excited are you to be a part of his staff and going forward, and just being placed in the hitting coach role, very important spot. So what does it mean to be not only a part of his staff, but in that position specifically?
I think the coolest part about it is that just watching him go about his business just so far, and what Vinny said about him, he's a grinder, man. Even right now, just working to get guys that he think fits the way that he coaches and the way that he wants the team to play. He's on it, and I just admire that about him, and I am excited to watch him go to work this summer. Obviously I'm gonna be working too, but this is gonna be cool that somebody who is gonna take it day by day, and they're gonna be on, it seems he's always on his stuff, and he's always working to try to get better. And I feel personally that's gonna help make me better just by being around him every day. So I'm really excited for that.
Do you feel like it's something that you can just feed off each other? Are you one of those guys where somebody's working hard, you try to match them, or is it just you respect them and you just want to do a good job?
I just respect. There's a mutual respect. When you see when you see the head guy doing his thing, and that he's still grinding and he's still hungry to get better, it makes you want to work harder, I think.
It's like the Bill Belichick do your job thing. If everyone on the team does their job, then the results either at the end of the night or at the end of the season are going to be positive, right?
Yes, definitely.
And in our very first podcast, me and Craig, we talked about what we wanted to grow from in Rockford, from point A to point B. So, being to you now, Cam, from before Rockford to after Rockford, there's a before Rockford Cam and now an after Rockford Cam of 2024. What are you hoping to work on? What are you hoping to learn from the end of the season?
Some of the things there's with hitting, there's never where you're going to have something fully locked down with that. I think just learning when the right situations are to help guys, when it's right to talk about their swing, or when it's a mental cue, or just things like that, smaller things, learning different personalities. Also, it's going to be nice to learn how to coach third base, because I've never done that yet, and I'm practicing my science in the bathroom every night. So hopefully that'll be good. But some of those things, and really just building relationships with these guys. I don't really have any end goals for me personally. I'm just going to live in the moment and just hope that I can help some of these guys reach their goals by the end of the summer. And really because I feel when I was younger, I didn't go to summer ball with the thought of that summer making me better. It was just my first year was I was just going because I had to. I didn't even really know what it was about. Nobody really talked to me about it was just everybody goes and everybody does it. No one really told me man, this is just like professional baseball. This is the grind that you'll have in professional baseball, which is which is tough at times, right? You're playing every single day, especially as a position player. So just be able to talk to them about it, especially the juniors and seniors get it, right? Like most of them get it. They've been through it. They love it. Like they've learned to love it. They love the places that they've went mostly. So just like with the younger guys, being able to explain to them that there's like a reason for all of this, and like it's like you only get to play for so long. So like really enjoying it and like getting better every day. It's gonna be cool to help them along with that.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned the grind, and something Oberg alluded to, those road trips, bus trips to Traverse City. And I know, and especially all around the Northwoods League, and somebody who's been in that position and now going to be on the coaching side of those things. When it comes to those long road trips, I'm interested to see the point of view. How do you keep the mentality? How do you want to, like, especially when you have like a winning streak going on or looking to get on the right track? How do those road trips, how do they help your team?
I just think that it helps build camaraderie, almost just being like on the bus with the guys and stuff, like all the dudes playing math and stuff. I feel like it brings guys closer together. I think that's really cool. I think that on some of those road trips, like those are like days where like you can almost feel in the dugout. Like I feel like that's like a good trait that'll be good to help like get better at for me, is just like seeing when the energy is down and just like bringing it up. Like I've worked with a sports psychologist, and this is actually like for me as a player, but it can be equated to coaching too. Just like when it's down, and even if your energy's down, like you can fake it, not necessarily fake it, but you can bring yourself up and you can bring people with you. So like as a leader, as a player, like, because I go to the sports site guy every week, and like he talked with me about that, like on midweeks when everybody like seems down before the game, like when the vibe's not good before the game starts, everybody knows like those feelings. So like being able to realize that's actually like a really tough thing to do, but then being able to change it is really hard to do. So I feel like that is something that can be really helpful in the clubhouse. So I don't know. I kind of just went on a rant there, but I don't know.
No, you're good, man. You got to recognize the problem before you can address it. So that's a good way to think about things. And you're right that in your explanation of that, and that I don't think that many fans or many like everyday fans realize how much of a psychological game baseball is. And like we were talking about earlier about, the physical tools and hitting the ball, and you can have all of those things, but if this thing in here isn't working and you're not, like you said, you're not thinking right, or your head's not where it's not supposed to be, I mean, you're going to struggle at the plate. And I mean, you can attest to this, but when you start getting in one of those slumps, it's a little harder when you're at the plate thinking about it, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you're thinking about other things at the plate, you're going to be in trouble. Ball comes pretty fast. You can't use your eyes when you're thinking.
Yeah. And something you also just talked about is just one of the most underrated parts of not just baseball, but every sport, vibes. A huge part of sport is just vibes. You gotta have them. It's one of those mental things where if you have that guy, you always know the guy, the character in the locker room. Is that typically what you find yourself in? Like just the guy who's like kind of like a short fuse, gets the team going,
Yeah, I think like, and the guys I coach at Illinois probably attest to this. Like I am the same guy every single day. Like at the field, I'm the same guy. Like I bring the same energy. Like there's times like I bring it up a notch. If I see like things are down, like I'll bring it up, like just by like talking, and then like getting guys going, like on the bench, like talking to them, be like, hey dude, like lock in here, like really focus, or like talking to them about the game. Like I'll try to bring it up in there. I just feel like it's so important to be the same person every day. Like I'm not going to come to the field when we're on a 5-game losing streak and pout about it. Like I'm just not going to do that, because that's not who I am. And I'm not going to blame, I'm sure as heck not going to blame it on the players, because this game's hard and it can eat you up. But there's one thing that I do know, is that it can flip really quick. So, and me pouting about it and not being present is not going to help it flip. So
Love that outlook.
We haven't even thrown one pitch yet in this season, and I got a nickname for Coach Cam. We're gonna call Coach Cam Vibes. Talk about Coach Vibes on the air this summer when we're on the Northwoods League broadcast. So
love it.
We'll put that on the back of your jersey at third base.
Coach Vibes.
And like,
all right.
If I have like that, like where I am always like high motor and always like ready to work and stuff like that. Like when I do have to get on a guy, it's like that's brought to their attention because like I don't do it all the time. Like I'm not always gonna but like if it gets like serious, like then they know like that I really think that they need to like make an adjustment. So like if I like start like my tone starts changing, then like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're not the guy that's gonna come in yelling, but when you do start yelling, people listen because you're not usually yelling, right?
Yeah. You're kind of beating a dead horse if you're always just yelling at guys. It's hard, man. It already beats you up enough.
You need to get on the old telephone and talk to my old baseball coaches from when I was a kid because they came from the old we're gonna yell some more, and then when we're done yelling, yell again. So
yeah.
Oh no.
Whoops. Here, we'll hold this up. Screws are hot.
Let's
Screws
go.
are where the heart.
Let's go.
Home is where the screws are.
Hey, I like that.
All right, Cam. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and get you out of here today. Get you out of here on some good vibes. If you want to follow Cam on Instagram, Cam_McDonald4 and Cam_McDonald4 on Twitter. And Cam, 40 nights away. We're gonna all meet in Rockford for the first time ever. We'll all be in the same building together, and we're excited to be able to do this with you on the field next time instead of on a screen.
Heck yeah, absolutely fired up for it, boys.
Yeah, and I thank you so much for your time. Can't wait to watch Purdue, Illinois, and know some familiar faces.
Hey, you better have an Illinois shirt on.
Hey, I have one. I do have an Illinois shirt.
Hey,
I'll bring it to Rockford.
Cam, he's got to sit next to me for 40 games this year, man. He can't wear that stuff around me.
Well, you can wear it
under.
I'll let you wear it too, but you got to wear the Purdue one under.
All right, everyone. That was Coach Vibes, Cam McDonald. Cam, we'll see you soon.
Awesome. What
do you think?
Man, well, what do I think? He's Coach Vibes. That's exactly who he is. He has one of the best personalities I've met so far from the Northwoods League. And I know I've probably said this about everybody. I said about you, Craig. I said about Coach OB. It's just he knows what he's talking about. He knows ball. You can tell that from the way he's talking. And more importantly, he knows what he wants to do. He seems like one of those coaches that, and this is important for the Northwoods League, he wants to work on what the players want to work on.
And that's what stood out now. This is the second coach we've interviewed, Coach OB last week, and then Cam here today. But like you just start seeing like those pieces, those building blocks getting put together, and this is just the coaching staff. We've yet to dip our toe into the player pool. That's going to be coming up here in the next couple of weeks here on the Rivets Rundown. But like, I mean, just what we've seen so far, man. I mean, I don't know about you, but in the baseball that I've been around, and I'm sure the baseball you've been around, but like, starting to feel really good about this summer. Like really, really good.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel really good about this summer. It's going to be quite the trip. And if anything I've learned from Coach Cam, Coach Vibes, whatever you want to call him, it's just he seems. I really like his philosophy, what he brings into it. I know typically when you see like a younger coach, you're just like, he's just a player's coach. And he seems not only like a player's coach, but like he said, when he can just build into just getting on to guys, he seems like somebody who not isn't lax. You know, he's not somebody you can walk over. He seems a guy who knows what he wants to do, knows how to coach, knows how to talk to players. And that's really important to see especially at this level, but going forward as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, like I said, we mentioned it when we were talking to him, but being able to draw from that experience, like he mentioned his freshman and sophomore year, or his sophomore and junior year, he went through a slump at the highest level while he was a starter. And so, you know, these other guys from around the country that are going to be coming around here and they're looking up to him as someone who's been there, done that kind of a thing. He's going to be able to draw from those experiences to be able to get those players over that hump or through that slump. And then I think that the fans in Rockford are going to see that translate to runs and ultimately wins on the field.
Yeah, they absolutely will. And sorry, Craig, but I'm going to have to wear some Illini gear for Coach Vibes. I know it's going to be tough for you to see that every now and then.
Hey, listen, we have a joke here, and like, I don't have a problem with Illinois as long as it's not Ohio State and as long as it's not Indiana. We're all good. And then just for this year, because that we're playing them, but you throw in Notre Dame too. But as long as it's not those colors, we're all good. I can deal with some orange and blue.
Well, we'll have a different night. Each will have a Purdue, Illinois, ASU. Well, we'll throw them all in. We'll be done with the whole country by we're done.
We have tons of nights. We have tons of promotional nights that we could do. I would love to see that happen. I do want to throw this out there, though. I know we talked about it a little bit last week. First Community Credit Union Field. I want to clarify on the podcast last week. I said new stadium. Didn't finish the thought. New stadium name this season. So I want to thank First Community Credit Union for being the title sponsor for the Rockford Rivets home this season at First Community Credit Union Field. Not a commercial, so I don't have to check that box on YouTube when I do this. But we do want to get that straight because they're a great partner. They did a ribbon cutting here a couple weeks ago to announce that name and branding. And I know that the front office here at the Rockford Rivets and as well as First Community Credit Union are excited for the partnership here this summer. So want to make sure we shouted them out today.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've heard from the front office when I've talked to them about this. And me personally, I've already been working on a couple of nicknames for it. Let me know what you think about calling it the bank. The bank. Getting a home run at the bank. Calling it the cashing in at the ATM. I think those are some good nicknames for the little stadium.
Yeah, I like that. And you know what? I have to tell you this because you won't end up hearing this, but there was a broadcaster from Illinois this past weekend who he just said my new favorite line of all baseball, and we can use it. So bases loaded, grand slam hit. He says that, Porrill hits the walk-off grand slam and he was holding a yard sale and everything must go. Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. You clear the bags, man.
That is a good one.
That's going to be fun, though, being able to play around with that, though, this summer. And that's, I don't know, like, the baseball on the field is going to be fun, but, like, this is what I like doing. This is what I like doing, and this is why I'm doing this, is to be able to spend 3 hours with you in a booth and put our brains together, put our college educations together and our life experience, and see how entertaining we can be for the fans over those 3 hours.
There's no job like it, and there's no job like it for a reason.
I saw you. Hey, I wanted to shout you out. I saw followed you on Twitter this weekend and saw that you were doing some sideline reporting for Arizona State for Blaze Sports, I think it was. Were you on? Was it Blaze or was it?
It was Cronkite Sports, I believe. Are you talking about the live tweeting?
Yeah, the live tweeting, and then you did a news blip from the stadium.
Yeah, that was amazing to be a part of. Going out there, filming Willie Bloomquist's squad out there in the little camera well, doing a little live tweeting for them. There's no better feeling than being out there on the diamond. Did a little softball and baseball this weekend, so I can't get enough of the little diamond.
Yeah, and you got to do yourself a favor if you're watching this. Go over to Parker's social media, PrimeTimePorrill, and the bit you did with the new statue at the Sun Devil Stadium. You had me like I was rolling, man. It was hilarious. Like Friday night, he needs to look away from the stadium, but Saturday we can turn him back around and he can see what's happening because it's a little bit better on Saturday. So
no, yeah, the guy that we had going out there on Friday, he did it from the back of the statue.
Yeah,
and I was like, hey, you know what? Saturday they won. Let's turn the statue around to the field.
Win in Rome, right?
Yeah, literally. But that's a little too much about me going on. But yeah, if you should follow me, you should definitely follow Craig Combs. Exactly how it sounds. PXP, not sponsored personally.
None. I don't sell anything, just myself.
But yeah, if you should follow us, you should definitely follow Cam McDonald as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. As we go to wrap up here, I want to throw this out there. May 27th is opening night for the Rockford Rivets. They'll be playing in Kalamazoo for those first 3 or 4 games. That's 40 nights away. So opening night of the full season is 40 nights away on May 27th against Kalamazoo. 4 days later on May 31st is the actual home opener for the Rockford Rivets, and that's 44 nights away. And again, that's going to be at First Community Credit Union Field. I also wanted to throw this out there. I know that the front office will probably appreciate this. And Parker, I'm trying to get us some more points. The 2024 Legends Celebrity Softball game is August 24th at First Community Credit Union Field. A portion of the proceeds are being donated to the Boys and Girls Club of Rockford. For tickets and more information, go to northwoodsleague.com/Rockford Rivets. And the Cubs versus the White Sox showdown they're going to be having there that day. A stacked lineup out at the First Community Credit Union Field. So make sure you get your tickets for that, because that softball game is sure to sell out and is going to be a great evening for fans.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. The question is, do we count as celebrities?
Hey, listen, man. I've been going to the batting cages, warming up a little bit just to see, like, hey, if somebody goes down, like, you call up to the booth. How awesome would that be? Like, tonight on SportsCenter, the not top 10 number one is when they called down the broadcaster from the booth to take a bat in the ninth.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a drag bunter. Put me in.
Coach OB, if you're listening, man, hope you're listening to the podcast. I'm a power hitter if I hit the ball, and Parker will try to lay one down for us. So
exactly. And once again, before we wrap up, I just realized, not planned, I swear. Speaking of earning points, how about a little swag here? Speaking of earning points,
hey, listen, I won the colors.
Yeah, you got the colors. I got the merch.
We haven't even touched down yet, and you're already the favorite. That's. I have to take a note on that. So
yeah, take notes if you will. But speaking of taking notes, take note of this episode. It was so great to talk to Coach Cam, Coach Vibes, as he's been newly named. It's been a great episode. Thank you so much for everything, Craig. It's been a blast on this episode. I feel like we've learned a lot, not only about us two and our chemistry, but not only about Rockford, but also about Coach Cam as well.
Absolutely. And I'm excited for 40 nights away and 44 nights away from doing it live in person. I'm excited. And I'm Craig Combs, CraigCombsPxP. He's Parker Porrill. You can catch us both on our socials on Instagram and X. Rivets out.